things you can do to ensure that you've got a good pivot. A good pivot that turns a little bit behind the golf ball and makes sure you get to your front side. First of all, the pivot is the way that we can turn, rotate, and wind our body up to the right away from the target and move to the left or the front of our body to make sure that we get a forward moving momentum so we can help that ball take off long and straight. So, a couple demonstrations here first before we get into the pivot. When you get into a good athletic position, a good base, we've got our feet turned out, maybe 25, 20 degrees, flared out a little bit, helps with some rotation. We've got a good stance, pretty straight back. We've got our shoulders pretty much just here, the top of our knees, good balance from toe to heel. We're now ready in an athletic state to make a good motion. We've got two axes for this pivot. Imagine two lines right here. We want to make a good rotation so we can get onto this line, and then on the downswing make a good rotation to get onto this line right here. So a couple different ways that we can do that. I'm going to show you a few drills. First thing, something I like a lot is holding a ball. Setting up in your golf stance, good posture, good balance from toe to heel, toes flared out. From here, we wind up to the top and lift this ball all the way up to here. Things to notice that we're talking about a right knee anchor pivot here. This is going to stay nice and still. We've got a little bit of a move away to here. We lift the club up. As we lift the club up, the left knee moves in a little bit, and then we can lift it to the top, ensuring we're creating lots of good resistance here with the bottom with the right leg, moving into that right side. So we're going to move slightly behind the golf ball right here. Lift up nice and tall, and then move the ball back down in front of us and into our finish position. Pretty simple. We don't have to get too detailed with this. Hold the ball out in front of you, lift it to the top, bring it back down in front, and finish your golf swing. A few of those every day and you're going to have a pretty good pivot. Not only to improve those that don't have a good pivot, but maintain those that do have a good pivot. Another way to do it, we can take a club. I've taken a 6-iron here. Put it over my neck, make a good pivot, keep my head still, and get this golf club right on top of the golf ball. Back to here, remembering, keeping that right knee as an anchor. Turning back this way, moving into our right side, coming off the right side, into the left, and into our finish. You can also take a club, lie this club down right here on the instep of your back foot, set a club here across the chest, and make a turn so that those clubs match, that they line up right there together. I mean, loading into the right side and having a right knee anchored style pivot, we're not trying to make sure that you get all the way back this way. But by setting up into that athletic position, having a little bit of tilt away from the golf ball, and making a nice, smooth rotation, keeping that knee still all the way back here, that club's going to line up with the club on the ground. Not a bad way to do it. You can also have a couple of other pivots that get you into a position where you feel like you're on the back foot, on the right leg. You can set up with your arms across your chest and simply make a turn, winding against the resistance of your lower body. This type of pivot really keeps the lower body solid. We're creating a resistance around it so that we can unleash that power into the golf ball. Keep that right knee pretty firm, left knee moves into the inside toward the ball a little bit, shoulders make a turn this way, and we've started from the ground up. So when we get to this position, we've got knee going first, then the hip, then the torso, then the arms, all the way through to your finish. The way that we wind it up. Left shoulder starts to cross the body a little bit, then turns, the hips turn, then the knee comes in. So on the back pivot, on the back swing, we try and work things from the top down. And on the downswing, we work things from the ground up, creating a little bit of resistance with the ground, turning through, into the ball, into an impact position, and through to your finish. Here's another good pivot drill to help you feel a little bit of resistance, winding into that right side, feeling like a good position at the top of your swing. I want you to take your hands and cross them over a little bit. Whether you want to go left hand over right hand over left hand, not really a big deal. I like to take my glove and put it on the back side. So from here, feeling that both hands are pushing together, wind up to the top and feel as though that this arm is pushing in against your glove, feeling some good resistance at the top of that swing. Remember, in the pivot, this knee stays as an anchor. It holds where it is, and you wind into the top of your right leg, rotating into the top of that right leg, up to the top, feeling as though that you're a little bit behind the golf ball, arms nice and high. So from here, you can let your arms fall back in front of you,